Okay. H.Khanh, can you hear me?
Hello,
Hello, H.Khanh, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good, good. So you have the test tomorrow, H.Khanh.
Yes.
Okay. Can you turn your camera on? I can't see you yet.
Okay. It's a little bit
Ah,
better.
okay. That's better. All right. So we're going to practice speaking. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do this for I think one hour, H.Khanh. I will take you through all the speaking, the three different parts. Unless, do you have any particular questions for me?
Oh yeah, I want to ask about writing a little bit.
You want to ask writing a little bit as well?
Like well, yesterday I've writing about a bar chart, but it gave me about 10 countries. So how to write it?
Right. Sorry, what were you writing about again?
Bar charts about the consumption and the production of electricity,
All right,
but
bar charts.
it's give me 10 countries.
10
So
countries. 10 countries.
how to write that?
Okay. So it's actually not it's not hard. I can't, not hard. Okay. All you have to do is if you can put the countries into different groups depending on something they have in common. Okay. So maybe I'm not sure. There are so many things that you can categorize countries by. Maybe there could be big countries and small countries, or rich countries and poor countries, or countries that produce a lot of something, countries that don't produce very much something. You remember the table we looked at a few weeks ago about potatoes, I think, vegetables.
Yes, but the
Okay.
problem is, you know, I remember that China has the highest,
Yeah.
the America also high, but a little bit lower than China,
Yeah.
and the rest of the edge is nearly the same.
Right. So that's what you but that's how you group them. So you can say, all right, these countries are the biggest producers or whatever, and all these countries produce much less. So that is one grouping. Remember with the charts, all you are looking for is the highs and lows, no matter what they give you, whether it's countries or sports or people or whatever they give you, you are always looking for something that is highest against something that is lowest. Okay.
Okay, and another
Does that,
question I want.
yeah, does that make sense?
Yes. So
Yeah.
another question I want to ask.
Yeah.
I can write 3 detail paragraph in part 1, right?
Two detailed paragraphs, two.
Okay, so I cannot write 3.
Well,
I
you
know
could, but
task 2 is the more vital task because it's a double points, right? But
well, yeah. Remember the writing task 1 is only worth half as much as writing task 2.
yes, because I know task 2
Yeah.
is a double points.
Yeah. So you could write 3 paragraphs, detailed paragraphs, but remember there is a word limit of 150.
Yeah, and I use
Okay.
computer based, so it also calculated work for me too.
Yeah, it will count it for you too. Good. So you could write 3 paragraphs, maybe if you could think of 3 paragraphs to write, but as long as the word total isn't more than about 150.
But sometimes I feel like
Because
too many information, and I think I can leave anything.
yeah, so you have to summarize. So again, you go back to what I was saying before. What are you looking for? You're looking for highest versus lowest of something. You're looking for the most contrasting factors.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Remember, so you're not looking for things that are kind of similar all the time. You are looking for things like this is the biggest producer, these are the smallest producers. This has the most money, this has the least money, or whatever the graph is about. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, I think we looked at TV viewing for another chart. So these sports have the most viewers, these sports have the least viewers. So you're always looking for something that is most, something that is least. That's what you are always looking for.
So
And that is the thing to write about. That's what you want to write about.
so in conclusion, we should first we should compare the highest and the lowest, and
Correct. Yes. Yes. Always.
second paragraph we compare the others, right?
Well, that's right. And again, depending on how many countries or categories you've got.
Don't worry, I use respectively for even 4 countries.
Yeah, if you've got if it's easy and you just have 4 countries, then usually you can compare 2 countries to 2 other countries. But if you have something like 10 countries, then you have to put them together in different groups. Okay.
Yes.
And say these are the countries that are the poorest, these are the countries that are the richest, these are the countries that produce the most, these are the countries that produce the least. That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're welcome. So remember not to spend any more than 20 minutes on this.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to look very quickly. So you remember pot, of course, which I've mentioned many times. So your paraphrase and then your overview is the most important paragraph. Okay. Your overview, which sums up what the graph is telling you. Okay. And then the detailed paragraphs aren't so important. So don't worry too much about them.
Okay.
As long as you get the overview correct.
Okay.
Okay. So this graph illustrates that, I don't know, China and Russia produce most of the vegetables in the world, and the other countries don't produce very many.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense? And that's all you have to do for your overview. But that is the most important paragraph. That shows you understand the graph if you write the good overview. And then after that, just the detail isn't so important. Don't worry if you are not covering everything. Again, just look for the highest and lowest.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And no more than 20 minutes, okay, in total.
Yes. I remember it.
Yeah, okay, so just remember
tomorrow
pot.
it's just my first time.
Yeah.
Yes. So if
Okay,
I fail,
so
I can consider this a good experience for the next time. If
you can. But again, just remember pot, okay? And remember the overview is the most important paragraph.
Okay.
Okay, and then just to manage your time. It's very easy in exams like this to get on the first question, to spend too much time because you want to get it right. So you have to be careful because, like I say, question 2, task 2 is worth twice as many marks. So you want to spend more time on that.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions before we start?
Yeah, I think we can start right now.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to very quickly give you first of all, some tips, okay, that I might have shown you before, but I just want to remind you of them. Then we're just going to practice some of the speaking. All right. So I might have shown you this a long time ago, but I will remind you. So remember, at the start of the test, okay, the examiner will just ask you a few questions about yourself, general questions. So these are not part of the test, but it's important that you answer these questions confidently.
Well, the first impression, right?
Yeah, correct. First impression. So, when you go into the room or when the examiner comes in, he will say, "Hello, my name is Mr. Rick. What's your name?" And you say, "What do you say?"
Yes, but I forgot to tell you, I use computer base, and also in my speaking, I also use voice chat like I'm talking to you right now.
Okay, well, it's still the same though. Still the
Yes,
same.
yes, yes.
So if he says, hello, my name's Mr. Rick. What's your name?
Hello, my pleasure to meet you. My name is H.Khanh.
Yeah, that's right. Like that, just like that. Yeah. Hello, my name is H.Khanh. It's a pleasure to meet you. Okay. And then I say to you, okay, H.Khanh, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 18.
18. All right. And maybe you say just a little bit more. All right. You say, I'm 18 and my birthday is in July or whenever it is.
Oh,
So try just to give a couple of sentences with these.
but I thought that they will add us right into test one, not introduce ourselves.
Yeah, but they will ask you this at the beginning. They will just introduce something to introduce yourself. Okay, so you have to be prepared for that.
Okay.
Okay, and you might say even something simple like what school do you go to? Something like that.
Oh, okay.
And you can say my school is such and such. I've been going there for 3 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the idea of this is just to be just confident, just give maybe 2 sentence answers, all right? And just to try and be relaxed, even though I know you won't be feeling relaxed. Of course, you will be feeling nervous, which is very natural. But it will help you be less nervous if you know what is going to happen, which is what I'm telling you now. So the examiner will maybe to ask you just some simple questions about yourself. And as I've said before here, where is your hometown? Are you from Hanoi, H.Khanh?
Yes, I'm from Hanoi.
Okay, and you can say, I'm from Hanoi, where I've lived here all my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my parents were born in Hanoi too.
Okay.
Okay, so all of this shows that you are good at conversation. Okay, so like I say, just try and give a couple of sentence answers. So like I said before, if the examiner says, how old are you? You don't just say, I'm 18. You say, I'm 18 and my birthday is next month, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, they will ask you the part 1 questions. All right. You know all this. Okay. Remember, it is okay. Can you see this here where I've got the arrow?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to repeat the question to give yourself time to think.
Oh.
So I might say to you, what is your favorite food? And you might say to me, what is my favorite food? My favorite food is banh mi or pho or whatever. So you can repeat the question, okay?
Oh, yeah. Like we can
Just
using like a well or something, right?
Yeah, that's right. Or just repeat the question. What is my favorite food? Or what is my favorite color? Okay, just give yourself time to think. A
Okay.
little bit of time to think, okay?
This
Does
they
that
count
make
in the fluency points.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so don't feel you have to answer the question instantly, okay? So you can repeat the question.
Okay.
All right, so stop this for the moment, and I will share something else with you in the speaking test. All right. Okay, things to avoid in the speaking test. Can you read this to me, H.Khanh? What is number 1?
Long pause and short answers.
That's right. Okay, you don't want your answers to be too short or too long. Okay, so that's what I
You
was
mean
saying before.
long
Sorry?
pause? It mean that our answer
Big gap.
must not too long, right?
Yeah, a long pause means you have a lot of silence.
Oh,
So
you
the
mean that
examiner,
our fluency is bad, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't want to leave a long pause. Okay, some pause is okay. All right, what is number 2?
Speaking in a monotone voice without varying your pitch.
Good. Okay, so remember that means you need to speak like you are speaking to one of your
No, we need
friends
to
or
show
family.
some emotion in our
That's
talking,
right.
right?
That's right. Yeah. Not speak like you are reading out of a book. Okay. Not speaking like this and it's very boring and this isn't very interesting. Okay. That you
Okay.
don't want to speak like that. You want to speak, yeah, show some emotion. Okay. Number 3.
Going off topic.
Okay, so if the examiner asks you what is your favorite food, you don't then start talking about your favorite computer game or something. Okay, just stick to the topic.
Okay.
Okay, you don't say my favorite food is banh mi. I like to eat banh mi when I'm playing my computer game. I really like my computer game. It's you want to stay on the topic. Okay,
Okay.
so number 4.
Using a lot of fillers such as like
Yeah,
and so on.
yeah. Okay. So you want to try and avoid them if you can. It's hard to avoid them completely, but try to avoid using them too much. Okay. And you know the rest. The rest of this is just common sense. Obviously, you don't speak too quietly. Obviously, you don't speak too fast or too slow. Okay. You don't stare at the person. Okay. This is all very easy. All right. Okay. Can you see this document, H.Khanh?
Can you make it a little bit clear?
A little bit larger.
Yeah, a little larger.
How's that?
A little bit more. Thank you. Little bit more. Okay.
Okay, can you see that?
Okay.
Okay, so you can see here. All right. Again, you probably know this, but I will just remind you, these are the 4 things you are going to be marked on. Okay. So the first one is whether task achievement means, are you answering the question? Okay. Are you answering the question? Fluency, you know what that means. Coherence means, does your answer make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Lexical resource, okay, is just your vocabulary, the range of words that you use.
Okay.
Okay. So if you know things, even things like idiomatic phrases, or you can think of lots of interesting synonyms to use, whatever, just to show that you have a good vocabulary, that you know a lot of words. That's what this is. Grammatical range and accuracy, they will be listening to make sure you are talking in the correct tense, for example. Obviously, if you are talking about things in the past, you use past tense. All right.
Okay.
And that you are using the correct form of the words. And
Okay.
finally, pronunciation. You know what that means.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, H.Khanh, is I'm going to play for you. I'm going to play for you someone doing part 1 of the speaking test. All right.
Oh yeah, can I ask a little
Yeah.
bit
So
before we
please.
start?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part 2 where you give some times to for prepare, right?
Yeah.
What about one? Yes, one of course we have to speak, but 3, did I have time to prepare, or I have to speak right?
No, you have 1 minute to prepare. Remember, 1 minute to prepare.
Oh yeah, I know it's part 2, but after I'm done part 2, they will give me time for part 3, or I have to start it immediately.
You have to start immediately, because all they will do is ask you questions. So
okay.
you don't have time. Just it's a bit like part 1, but in more detail.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
because I have saw some party question and yeah, they nearly same the writing task too.
So just remember, so with part 3, the questions will relate to the topic they gave you in part 2.
Okay.
Okay, but you don't get any time to prepare for this, no, but you don't
Okay.
really need to. You don't really need to. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just play for you someone, okay, who is doing part 1, all right, just to give you an example. All right, so please just listen to this, H.Khanh.
I'm going to begin by asking you some questions about yourself. How did you spend your free time when you were a child?
When I was a child, I liked to play with my friends outside. In fact, I still like the outdoors, especially in the summertime, because I love swimming and scuba diving. I go to a scuba diving club with my friends, and every year we like to go to a new place to explore. For example, last year we went to the Sipadan Islands in Malaysia. It was really...
You mentioned playing outdoors with friends when you were a child. Can you tell me more about that?
Okay. Let me think. We used to fishing in a river. The river was near my house. It was outside our village. We didn't always caught any fish, but we had a good time.
Okay, let's move on to the topic of health and fitness. If you could improve your health or fitness in one way, what would that be?
That is a good question. I am quite healthy, but I think I would like to improve my, I would like to be able to exercise for a long time and not, become out of breath, like run for a long way without stopping.
Okay, now did you hear that? Okay, H.Khanh.
Okay.
All right, so I will play it one more time and I will stop it in a couple of places just to show you a couple of things, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to begin by asking you some questions about yourself. How did you spend your free time when you were a child?
When I was a child, I liked to play with my friends outside. In fact, I still like the outdoors, especially in the summertime, because I love swimming and scuba diving. I go to a scuba diving club with my friends, and every year we like to go to a new place to explore. For example, last year we went to the Sipadan Islands in Malaysia. It was really...
You mentioned...
Okay, so why did the examiner interrupt what he was saying?
I think his answer might be not particular.
Yeah,
Even
can
though
you...
he can say that, yes, of course, playing with his friend is a reason, but like he was playing football, games or yeah, I know is too common,
Yeah,
right?
right, but she interrupted him for a reason. Do you know what the reason is?
Or maybe because it's just on his said he likes he do it, but don't say no why he do it, right?
Yeah, you're on the right track. She interrupted him because he went off the topic. Okay. So the question was, and you can see it here if you look at the screen, how did you spend your free time when you were a child? Okay. And he
So
talked about how he liked to go outdoors, didn't he? He liked to go outdoors and he liked to go swimming. That's what he was talking about. But then he started to talk about how he and his friend, now they like to go diving at some island in Malaysia. Okay, that's what he was talking about. And that has got nothing to do with what he did when he was a child. He starts to talk about what he does now.
Yeah, but I asked that about this question. If they ask like this, so I should answer.
Yes.
I spend
Yes.
my free time for what activity and explain why I like it and it done,
Yes.
right?
Yes. 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 That's all you have to do. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now have a listen to something else, H.Khanh. Have a listen to this.
Playing outdoors with friends when you were a child. Can you tell me more about that?
Okay. Let me think.
Okay. So here then what he did to give himself time to think. What did he say?
Let me think.
Yes, he did. He said, okay, let me think. All right. That gives him a chance to think. All right. So you are allowed to do that. That is okay.
Okay.
All right. So if they ask you a question you're not sure about, you can say, let me think about that. Okay. And then you can just think for a couple of seconds before you give your answer.
Okay.
Okay.
We used to fishing in a river. The river was near my house. It was outside our village. We didn't always caught any fish, but we had a good time.
Okay,
Okay. Did you hear the mistake he made in there, by the way, H.Khanh? He said, we didn't always caught any fish. Do you know what he should have said?
You change the topic so fast. But
Sorry?
I thought that he said that he liked going out with friends and now he's caught fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Different question. So he said, so his English, he made a mistake. He said, we didn't always caught any fish.
Oh yeah,
All
I
right.
forgot. Didn't we must not use the we must use the normal verb.
Yeah. Okay. So it should have been catch any fish. So
Yes.
he used the wrong verb. All right. And then, so have a listen to this, how he answers this next question.
let's move on to the topic of health and fitness. If you could improve your health or fitness in one way, what would that be?
That is a good question.
Okay. So see, again, he says something to give himself time to think. What did he say?
That's a good question.
Yes, that's a good question. All right. So again, you can do this. So I have given you now 3 ways where you can just pause for a little bit to give yourself time to think. The first one, remember, is repeat the question.
Okay.
Okay. How do I like to improve my health and fitness? Okay. Let me think about that. That's a good question. Okay. Just gives yourself time to think. All right.
Okay.
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 Okay. Are there any questions about that, H.Khanh?
No, thank you.
Okay, so now I will get you to do these 2 questions for me. I'm the examiner. Okay, H.Khanh, how did you spend your free time when you were a child?
Well, in my childhood, I was a game buff. I have a deep passion in playing video games. So I usually spend my time on enjoying it for a daily basis. Okay.
Okay, good. That's
Is
fine.
it clear?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's good, H.Khanh. Okay, not too short, not too long. That's good. And good use of past tense. Very good. Okay. And I'll ask you the next question. If you could improve your health or fitness in one way, what would that be?
Well, if I can only choose one way to enhance my health and fitness, I would like to choose the jogging. Well, I have a keen interest in jogging because not only I can enjoy the fresh air, I can also balance my mind and escape from the hustle and bustle from a busy life.
Okay, very good, H.Khanh. Good answer. Very good. Just like that. Okay, that's good. So you are fine with those sort of questions, okay? That is fine. All right, no problem. So just again, just that is the right length of answer, H.Khanh. All right,
Okay.
so don't be worried about that. So that is speaking part 1. Now we're going to look at speaking part 2. Before we leave speaking part 1, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
No, that was good. So, and you used past tense correctly about this one as well. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. You say, this is how I spent my time. You used that correctly. That was very good. All right. And that is the sort of thing they will listen for, to make sure you are using tense correctly.
Okay.
Okay. So speaking part 2. Okay. This is a sample, all right, of the sort of topic you might get. All right. And in red, you can see this is what this person, the notes they have made in their 1 minute. All right.
Oh, okay. But I thought that the examiner will give us, oh yes, the paper with this idea, like who it is and what that person is like, right?
That's right. Yes. So the examiner will give you something. All the writing in black, okay, is what the examiner will give
Of
you.
course, red is
All
the
what you will
thing that
see on
we
the
have
screen.
to think by ourselves.
Yes. So you have 1 minute. Remember, so this in red is what one person has written in their 1 minute. Okay. These are the notes. So who was it? So they've quickly written down my uncle too. You know, I'm best friends with his son, my cousin. Okay. So
Okay.
and remember, then you can look at your notes when you are talking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
And they've made here, what is that person is like? Okay. And they've written down, he's kind and generous, a good teacher.
yeah.
Okay. So these are the notes the person has just made quickly. So, and that you can look at them when you are speaking.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Okay. Okay, good. And so remember, I always suggest that you start off like this. I'm going to tell you about
Okay.
the person who has helped me the most in my life.
Okay.
That is my uncle too. I'm best friends with his son, my cousin. Does
Okay.
that make sense? And
Yes.
remember, I always encourage you to write down your last sentence. Remember, because that gives you just a good, tidy ending to your talk.
Yes.
And makes it sound more professional. All right, makes it sound better.
Okay.
And and again, you've only got 1 minute, I know, to prepare, so you can't spend too much time thinking about that. But you, in this case, you might write down something like, and that is why my uncle too is the person who has helped me the most.
Okay.
All right, just something simple.
Yes.
But you know how you're going to finish. And then when you run out of things to say, you can just read out your last sentence.
Okay.
And it will make it some better. Okay. So does this make sense?
Yes, but this attached to we have 1 minute to prepare and
1 minute to
about
prepare
and
and
about
2
2
minutes to
minutes
talk.
to speak, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So now I'm going to play you what this person said. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And then I will get you to do it. All right. For me. Okay. Have a listen to this.
Someone who made big difference in my life is my Uncle Jay. I'm best friend with his middle son, Chul. We know each other since we were born, and we went to the same school. Chul is very good at school, but I was not such good student. Sometimes I don't understand what the teacher is explaining, and I'm too shy to ask a question in the class. Sometimes I didn't do my homework. I preferred listen to music or watch films, stuff like that. The year before the college entrance exam, nobody expect me to do well. But I wanted to change. My Uncle Jay believed in me. He is a middle school teacher. He taught me to study in a right way. He helped me make a plan and encouraged me. Keep going, keep going. If I didn't understand something, he explained me how to find the answer. In the end, I got better result than I expected, and I got to university. I owe him a lot. He changed my life.
Okay, so you can hear how that person actually had a good ending to their talk, didn't they? I owe him a lot. He changed my life. Is very good ending to a talk like that. Yeah. All right. You can also hear how that person, they didn't speak too fast and they didn't speak too slow. They didn't have any long pauses. Okay. They sound quite fluent. And even though they made some mistakes with the grammar, didn't matter. All right. Because they kept going. They just kept going. All right.
Okay.
So do you have any question about that?
I guess I don't have any question.
All right. So I'm going to get you to do this for me now. So can you please do this for me? All right.
So
okay.
can I
So,
start?
yeah. So you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to prepare.
Yeah, I forgot 1 minute for prepare.
Prepare. Okay. So 1 minute starting now. Okay, H.Khanh, that's about 1 minute. Very fast.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? Whenever
Yes,
you're
I'm
ready. All right. Whenever you're ready, please start.
So I'm going to tell about my grandma, whom I admire most. He is still a good role model for me to follow. I have lived with him since I was a little child. My grandfather is a well-known historian and has a good sense of humor. There are a variety of reasons support my interests. The first reason that what I mentioned is that my grandfather is a well-known historian. Thanks to him, I have a deeper understanding about the sacrifice of our predecessor and also cultivates my patriotism and national pride. I still remember when I was in secondary school, I have joined a prevalent history competition and I want to pass it with a grand prize. Thanks to my grandfather's assistant, I have passed with the flying colors and I very appreciate it at that moment. Well, the second reason I want to mention is that he has a good sense of humor too. Thanks to his story, when I'm in a bad mood, it helps me lift up my mood and escape from the hustle and bustle from a busy life. Not forget to mention that sometimes this story could broaden my horizon too. And that is the reason why I love and appreciate my grandfather so much.
Okay, that was good, H.Khanh. That was good, but a little bit short. Okay, that was 1.5 minutes.
Oh yeah, and I asked that if I done so soon, so they would think that our idea is to short.
Yeah, so you don't want to be too short though. You really want to be able to
Yeah,
talk
because I
for
still
the
have
2 minutes.
30 seconds more,
That's
right?
right. You still have 30 more. Yeah. But okay, but on the good side, okay, so what you did was very good. You gave the reasons, okay, you had good beginning and a very good ending. Excellent.
yes,
All
but
right.
yeah, is there anything will happen if we done it for too early?
Maybe you get a better mark if you can talk a little bit longer. Okay. Okay. That is the main reason, because you were supposed to talk for about 2 minutes.
Okay,
about
so
2
I can decrease my speed or thinking idea.
Yeah, or think of another idea. Yeah. I mean, you gave me 2 good reasons there. Maybe, during your preparation time, try to think of 3.
Okay.
Okay, but that was good, H.Khanh. All right. So the only thing that I think you should improve with that is just make it a little bit longer.
Okay.
All right. So I hope you are feeling a little bit more confident about that now.
Yes.
All right, because you are doing the speech, what the content of the speech is good. Looking at, going back here, these 4 things, okay, you were very fluent. All right.
Yes.
You didn't stop. Your answers made sense. Okay, they were coherent. It all made sense. Okay,
Yes.
you showed good use of vocabulary. All
Okay.
right. Your grammar was good. Okay, all your tenses were fine. All right, and you used all the correct forms of the words, and your pronunciation was pretty good too. So good.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So just the only thing, as I say, was it was a little bit short.
Okay.
By about 30 seconds. So maybe just even another 20 seconds or so you need to talk.
Yes.
All right. So that is part 2. So again, you can see here the sort of notes that you need to make during your 1 minute. Okay.
Yes.
And obviously you just have to write very quickly your note, only 1 minute. Okay. You don't have much time to think about that, but just some speaking points. And then, as I say, if you have a good last sentence, it makes your whole speech sound better. If you can finish with a good last sentence, even if you finish a bit early. Okay. If you have completely run out of ideas, can't do anything about it. Just read your last sentence. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So speaking part 3. All right. Maybe you can speak for up to 1 minute in answer to each question. So these answers don't have to be that short. So that is the main difference between part 3 and part 1. In part 1, your answers are quite short. Remember, I said maybe only about 2 sentences, 2 or 3 sentences. But in speaking part 3, you have to give longer answers. All right. And so these questions, all right, are all to do with the topic in part 2.
Okay.
All right. So the topic in part 2 is about someone who has helped you. So these are the sort of questions the examiner might ask you. So the idea to make your answers longer, can you read this here, H.Khanh, where I have the pointer, please?
Have a structure in your mind to answer this question.
Right. Okay. So the first thing is what?
Give your opinion.
Yeah.
Give reasons for your opinion and give an example.
Yes. Okay. So give your opinion. I think, yes, you can help some people too much because. All right. Then you give some reasons. And then if you can think of one, give an example. Okay. You won't always be able to think of one off the top of your head. Okay. Because you have no time to prepare. But maybe if you can suddenly think of one, it's always a good idea to give an example. All right. All right. So please answer these questions for me, H.Khanh. All right. Do you think it is possible to help someone too much?
Well, I think from my point of view, it depends on the complicated about the work they want to help. Like, for example, if you just help you just only have someone to pick up a thing they dropped. Well, it's just a piece of cake mission. But with some mission that's have the fact about the money, really much money, or even more vital is which is their lives. I think they cannot help too much.
Okay. All right. So your answer there was a little bit confused. All right. Not so coherent. All right.
Yeah.
I know what you were trying to say, but you got the words a little bit mixed up. So
So Barbara
here,
is a little bit
yeah,
hard than the other.
yeah. This is a bit harder. Okay, because you have to think of things and you have no preparation time. So you can afford to speak a little bit more slowly. All right. Don't be in too much of a rush. For example,
Slowly will affect my fluency point or not.
yeah, maybe. All right. But you don't have to be in too much of a rush. And this is
Okay.
when you can say things like, is it possible to help someone too much? My answer to that is yes, maybe. If you help someone who has just dropped something, that is fine, that is easy. But if someone keeps coming to you because they want help with homework or they want help with money, then of course they might come to depend on you. So they never learn to fix the problem by themselves. As soon as they have a problem, they come to you and say, H.Khanh, can you please help me with my homework? Or H.Khanh, can you please lend me some money? I've run out of money. And if you help them too much, they will come to depend on you. So they will never learn to help themselves.
Okay.
All right. What do you think of that for an answer?
Yes, I
See what I mean?
Yes.
See what I mean? Okay. But the first thing I did was I repeated the question, all right, to give myself a little bit of time to think.
Yeah, but I think if I repeat the question, I I can not only think but also lose my fluency point too.
Yeah, maybe, just depends. But whatever you feel helps you. Okay. All right. So the next question the examiner asked this person was, how did your cousin feel about your uncle helping you?
Okay, but can I ask why are they use did? They want to ask about the
Because,
past, right?
yeah, this past tense, this is something that happened in the past. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
in this case, the person is talking about how the uncle helped them pass the exam.
okay.
So it is in the past. All right. So that's why
Okay.
he's saying did. How did
Okay.
your cousin feel about you? Okay. What about this question, H.Khanh? Can you answer this for me, just in general? Why do you think people find it hard to ask for help sometimes?
Well, why do you think? Oh, yeah. Well, nowadays, many people think that it is a desktop challenge when they need to ask for the assistant. Well, an explanation for it is that they are a little bit shy and they a little bit shy to ask each other about the assistance. Uh, then I forgot it. For example, like if you are not communicate with the society for a long time, well, then you cannot communicate with anyone and also cannot ask them for their help too.
Okay, good. At least you are thinking of an example. That's good, H.Khanh. Okay, that's good. You are trying to think of an example. The other thing I would maybe, the other reason that comes to my mind to answer this question, of course, if you ask someone for help, then of course it means maybe you owe them something for the future.
Yeah.
All right. So you will have to help them in the future. And so I don't want to ask you for your help, H.Khanh, because I don't want you coming to me in maybe 1 or 2 months' time and saying, "Oh, remember how I helped you? Can you help me write my essay now?" Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the word for that in English is obligation. You don't
Oh.
want to have an obligation to someone, or you don't
Yeah.
want to go into debt with someone. Okay.
Okay.
So that is another reason. That is another reason. That's what occurs to me. Okay. And the final question for this, H.Khanh, do you think young people today are more or less likely to ask for help than people from older generation?
Well, to tell them apart is a task of challenge mission. You know, nowadays many teenagers are very willing to help the elder one, while some ones are very bad attitude about assisting them. Like the best demonstrate for this is that in Vietnam there are many volunteers with a variety of many young people are very willing to support for the elderly, like help them to eat, take care of their sickness. But also there are some teenagers are having a little bit bad attitude. They are not very willing to help, like
Okay. Okay, this is good, H.Khanh, but you have misunderstood the question.
Oh.
Okay, you are not answering the question correctly.
Yeah, actually young people today,
Yeah,
right?
so
I'm
this
wrong.
is about whether young people today are more likely to ask for help than old people. So
Oh.
what you have done, of course, you said, do young people like to help old people? All right, which is a different question.
Oh, yeah, I
So,
forgot.
so just be careful. Yeah, just be careful that you listen carefully to the question, so you answer the question correctly.
Okay.
All right. So ask again. So, do you think, H.Khanh, young people today are they more likely to ask for help than maybe people used to in the past?
Yeah, so I think young inhabitants nowadays are very willing to assist their elderly people. Well, an explanation to this that they show respect to them, and this can be demonstrated by the example of helping elderly people project in Vietnam. This is a company which assists the elderly people in money to buy medicines, or just to help them to have money to go to the hospitals. Well, another reason is that nowadays teenagers are likely to also to protect the elders too. Yeah, I'm an idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. All right, H.Khanh. Okay, good, good. All right. So that is the end of the lesson, H.Khanh. All right.
Yes,
You have
but
done
if
you've done
only
all the
1 minute,
parts.
I think it's thinking about two
Yeah.
reasons is a little bit hard.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to talk for 1 minute, maybe up to 1 minute. But if you can only think of enough for 30 seconds, don't worry.
Okay.
All right. It's just, yeah, just remember, as I say, that part 3 answers are longer. You give longer answers than in part 1. All right. Okay. You're expected to give longer answers in this part.
Okay.
That's all. Maybe up to 1 minute. But if you are short, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So before we finish, do you have any questions? I can't.
Yeah, I want to ask about the tips to learn the reading vocabulary. Yeah, I want to ask about, like, should I follow the word fields, or just see the word that I don't know and I write it?
See the word that you don't know and write it.
Like
How do you?
I should learn the words like like environments, words like pollution, about the traffic, like cars, motorbike, or just seeing the new words, see the words that I feel that is new to me and write it and learn.
I wouldn't at this stage worry too much about trying to learn new words. If you were worried about
because
the reading.
I think if you want to have a high band in reading, I think we must use some words because they are academic, right?
Yes, but you're going to find it hard to learn new words between now and the exam tomorrow.
Yes, I have learned some new words, but
Right, good.
but it still, you know, my band still improve but a little, and sometimes it's decreased for significantly.
Right. Well, it's going to be, like I say, hard to improve in just one day.
Yeah, it still depends on the reading that I have to do tomorrow. You know,
Yeah,
if lucky, I can get an easy task.
Yeah,
who knows?
you might have an easy task, okay? And often, if you don't understand the meaning of a word, sometimes you can work it out from the context of the sentence.
Yeah, sometimes I can guess the meaning from the
that's
task,
right. Sometimes
but
you
I don't
can,
know.
Yeah. But again, if you can't do one thing, then just go to the next one. Don't spend too much time if you are not sure of an answer. All right, just go to the next one. Otherwise, you run out of time.
Okay.
Okay, and you don't. That is the worst thing to do, to run out of time, because then you are just throwing marks away.
Okay.
So, okay. So, any more questions, H.Khanh?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So you are fine with your speaking, okay? So don't worry, all right?
Yeah, I just need
About
a
the
little
speaking.
bit
Just relax. Just relax, all right? And remember when you see the examiner, just do smile and be friendly and create a good impression.
Okay.
Right? And again, in the first, when they just ask you simple questions, just give simple answers at the very start. How old are you? What school do you go to? How many people in your family? Where is your hometown? Things like that. Just give simple answers, but a couple of sentences.
Yes.
So, for example, the hometown one, don't just say Hanoi, say my hometown, Hanoi, I've lived here all my life and my parents are from Hanoi too.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. Then with the part one questions, okay? And remember just to stay on the subject, 2 or 3 sentence answers. All right. Yeah. For this one, part 3, give longer answers.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to worry because even now we have a thing is called a forecast. You know it?
A forecast.
Yes, because in Asia, the rule of IELTS exam will be like this. The China will test first, and then those tests, though has been tested in China, will be the test in Vietnam. So of course we just need to learn what the China has done, what the Chinese has done.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the rules, but of course sometimes they still ask a different question. But yeah, well, there is a rule in here. So nearly our Vietnamese just need to studying what Chinese has tested.
Okay. All right. Good.
But it's just with the speaking.
Okay, just with the speaking. All right. Well, what time is your exam tomorrow?
Well, in the morning, I will do the writing, listening, and reading at 9 o'clock until 11:45.
Yeah.
Then my speaking started 16:40.
Okay. All right. Oh, so you have a big gap. You have a big gap between the. Okay.
Well, the schedule when I book isn't like that. I cannot change.
Right. All right. Okay. All right. Well, good luck, H.Khanh. I'll be thinking of you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope it all goes well. So I'll be thinking of you.
Thank you.
Cô chúc Hà Khánh ngày mai thi tốt nhá, cố gắng nhá.
Con cảm ơn ạ.
Đi luyện nghe mới luyện đọc được khá chưa?
Có chả biết nữa cô ạ.
Hả?
Có chả biết nữa.
Làm khá hơn không?
Thì bài hôm qua con làm chắc cũng ổn, còn read thì nó cứ thế nào gọi kiểu bài
bởi vì mày lười luyện quá.
Thì lắm từ quá.
Làm từ quá, đúng rồi, thì có nghĩa là mình lười thôi, đúng không? Bởi vì
Vâng.
nói chung là phải kiên trì, phải đọc nhiều thôi. Thôi cố
Vâng.
gắng nhá, cố gắng làm, chắc là nếu mà cố gắng nếu mà không lên được 6.5 7 giờ thì ít nhất là phải 6 chấm trở lên. Được chưa?
Vâng. Vâng.
Tập trung
Con
vào
chỉ mong 6 ấy.
bởi vì sao cái thầy cũng khen là cái kỹ năng nói của con thì khá tốt rồi mà. Nhưng mà có cái
Vâng.
đọc cái nghe nhé, con phải luyện nhiều hơn đấy, mà cũng lười không chịu viết bài cái mấy thì gửi thầy chữa cho. Ok.
Vâng. Vâng.
Thế thôi, chúc thi tốt nhá.
Vâng, em cảm ơn ạ.
Chúc may mắn nữa, vào cái topic nào nó may mà mình gặp rồi, đúng không?
Vâng.
Ok. Thế, bye bye con nhá.
Vâng, em chào cô ạ.
Chào con.
So, bye bye. Thank you for
All right.
assisting me.
All right, you're welcome.